In 1997, I moved from Golf Magazine over to Golf Digest. And one of my favorite pieces, was a cover piece, was the Y factor. And it was a takeoff on the X factor. The difference being you looked at the X from face on, the way you're looking at me. And when you look in a mirror, you can do this right along with me and kind of learn some really important things. Now, the Y factor started with a line straight up from your left hip, because one of the things we're going to check is how far you move laterally into your right leg. It could be too little, it could be too much. We also look to see if that line intersects with your left shoulder here. Now, some players have been taught to have a lot of spine tilt at address, maybe 15 degrees, 20 degrees of spine tilt to the right, which I think is too much, and possibly kick this left hip out as well. And if you do that, the Y line will not hit any part of your shoulder, and I think that's a mistake. It's not where I see the tour players. Now, what is the Y factor, really? It's this line up through the shoulder. We're checking to see how much motion you move to the right off the golf ball if you're right-handed. Now, looking at the left shoulder to see how far it moves from a dot right here on the left shoulder area, right here, over is a neat measurement to make. It's really something that's kind of interesting to look at. And I say that because the amateur golfer that we test doesn't move it nearly as much as the tour player. The average tour player moved this left shoulder that way 15 inches. Siri Pak and Tiger Woods had the biggest moves. They moved 19 inches over. And that was looking at how far that left shoulder moved. Now, a way for you to think of doing this is think of where your right shoulder is at address, and then try to take your left shoulder and put it right where your right shoulder used to be. And another way to think of it is to think of a line right off the inside part of your right foot and try to take your left shoulder over that point, and that will allow you to make probably a much more powerful move into your back leg. Another thing about the left shoulder doesn't move level across, it goes down. The average player goes down about 2 to 3 to 4 inches down on a full golf swing. Your shoulders turn on an axis, and the reason for this is because we're tilted forward. My spine is tilted forward, so my shoulders are going to turn at a 90 to my spine. So it looks like this. My right shoulder goes up, my left shoulder goes down. Again, it's an idea that most people are really not familiar with. They really think that the shoulders should go level, and that rounds out your shoulders, usually makes you stand up. But the tour players definitely have the left shoulder going down, right shoulder going up. You can think of it either way. So, again, the Y factor is looking at the X straight on. I think it's a great way for you to really see how you move and how you load in the backswing.